At the beginning of 2020, uh, it was really hard for me in all kinds of dimensions. It was hard, like it was for everyone else, because of the beginning of the pandemic, and it was also really hard because I'd already lost a lot of money on oil stocks and all that stuff. Even though I'm a huge fan of renewable energy, I thought there was a be opportunity, and it did not. And my emotions are way more connected to my finances than I care to admit, and I tanked both ways pretty hard in 2020. And also, a relationship that I was planning on going to marriage also fell through, all around the span of 3 months. And then, come April 2020, after all getting hammered on multiple dimensions, I got back into the habit of just sitting and listening to God instead of open. What I mean is open ended, just listening to God, not coming at Him with my questions or my concerns or requests, and just listening. And during one of these times, I saw an image of the tiles of my roof lifting up into the sky. And I owned a home in Altadena, California, and that image was pretty scary on top of everything else that was already happening, because I had already gone through that experience of losing a home back in the mortgage crisis of 2008 and 9, and was not emotionally and financially ready for it to happen again. So partly out of fear, I jumped on Zillow to see what was going on in my neighborhood, and discovered to my surprise that things had been going nuts at the beginning of the pandemic. That was pretty early on, so it may have been even something else is going on, but homes in my area had actually been selling for a crazy high. And what I learned, in fact, one house that was nowhere near the size of the property that I owned, sold for almost $1 million, like 940,000, which was a big deal. And I went and contacted that agent and found out that, actually this neighborhood is very in demand. A lot of people are leaving the densest parts of Los Angeles and getting more space because they got to work from home now, and they want more space for their kids, and they want to be away from, they don't want to be crowded with everyone else in during a pandemic. So that meant jump on that opportunity. So the pandemic went from like this super depressing thing to an opportunity that I needed to jump on. And what happened was I was able to sell my place and make back all the money that I invested in fixing it up over 2 years, which was a lot because I also owned a pool. And when I bought the property, it was basically nothing to speak of landscaping wise. And I had invested a lot in that as well. So I was able to recoup all that money and get out of there, get out from underneath some one of the largest, property tax bills I've ever had. And I went from having 12 bills to 2 bills after selling that thing, and it was all launched off of that one time where I was just praying. That particular time with God was a big deal for me personally, just because my track record of praying about specific opportunities and getting a weak yes or getting what I thought was a yes and then things not turning out well. I had more of those testimonies at that time than I did of hearing from God and then being able to like do something smart in a timely fashion. So yeah, that was a big deal emotionally and spiritually for me. And I just want to share that with you guys. Thanks.